Hello, welcome back to Conversations Beyond Borders. We're really excited, aren't we, Laura, for season 2?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little different. We're going to actually have a conversation. I'm in Colorado. Laura's in
Where am I
Seattle.
now? Yes, I'm in Seattle now.
She's in Seattle, could be in California, and I could be in Canada, but
That's
we
right.
are here for you. And we're going to start each week with something that we personally have felt or have moved through. And this week, we're going to talk about some serious stuff for Laura. We were going to record last week, but Laura had a meltdown for good reasons. She's had a lot on her plate. So let's start
Yeah,
there, Laura. Tell
yeah,
us what happened.
yeah, yeah. I had a little bit of a meltdown. So we were we recently moved to Seattle,
Mhm.
and with that, I started a new job, and we were living temporarily in an apartment, moving into our new place the same week I start my new job. And about 2 weeks before we start recording for season 2, and I could not find the power cord for my microphone, or so I thought.
Right. Oh,
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 yeah.
I
Oh,
don't know this
yeah.
part.
No, you don't know this part. So I get on with Susan on Saturday last week, and oh my God, it turned into a,
Something's wrong, Laura.
yes,
Something's wrong.
it
I
turned
could
into
hear
a,
it and I could see it. And
yes.
we've always been very careful with each other that we're the most important thing. And we can always postpone and we can always wait because we're human and we
Right.
have personal midlife stuff too. So
Yes.
Laura had some stuff going on.
Yes, I did. And so instead of recording, it turned into a therapy session.
I did.
It did. And you introduced me to an app, which, yes, people, we are new. Yes, we do not have enough followers to be doing advertising. So there is nothing attached to this.
So,
But you introduced me to an app called Well Tory. Welltory, and it changed my life last week.
awesome.
Absolutely changed my life. So I took my first reading the next morning. What was I like at 25% energy, right?
Oh my.
So to take this a step back, I know there's a lot of science behind it. I don't understand all the science. I haven't had time to digest how it works, but it essentially is on your phone. It takes your camera and it takes a measure with your finger and it somehow measures your blood, and it gives you things like your ability to, well, what's your energy level?
Yep.
What's your
Can you focus?
cognition? Can you focus?
Yeah.
What's your health level? And I don't have an Apple Watch, and so I don't have it giving me that data like Susan does. But I started looking at the problems and the data and the lower levels of the data, and I started really doing the research. And I'm like, me being me, I got to be proactive. How do I get out of this? How do I boost my energy level higher than 35? I have things to do today. And
Not
so,
outside of our bodies, though.
right, right. And with menopause, there's things that I have learned on that journey of researching, the what's going on. And so I started doing the research, and I realized I was not intaking enough protein. So I looked at all my supplements, I looked at my nutrition, I looked at my exercise plan, I looked at my work, calendar, I worked at the looked at the
Right?
podcast calendar. I looked at, when I'm unpacking, what I'm doing with the new place, and it's like, okay, what do I need to change? So instead of waking up in the morning and starting with a cup of coffee, which is dehydrating, I now start with an electrolyte, and that is about a half hour, 40 minutes later is when I have my first cup of coffee. That first cup of coffee comes with creatine. Then after the creatine, at about 10 o'clock comes breakfast, and this is protein packed. And when I first started looking at it, and I started making my yogurt bowls with double the protein, obviously means double the volume, right? And I'm looking at this amount of food going, there is no way I can eat all this. So it became breakfast and lunch essentially.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
well,
Same.
Yeah,
So
right?
I do that a lot. Yep.
And so then I get back on the internet and I'm like, okay, how can I da 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 da? And what came back was, okay, stupid protein powder. So I've got now it's the yogurt, the Greek yogurt, it's protein powder, it's collagen which also has protein, it's walnuts that also has protein. And so I made that pivot, and then the one last thing I changed is I added fish oil onto my supplements. And well, and then I also started doing yoga nidra and breathing exercises more consistently. But I will tell you, it was a 24-hour change. It
Yep.
literally, I've got goosebumps telling you guys this right now. I'm feeling like a total nerd, but it was literally within 24 hours. The next day, I was feeling so much better just by increasing my protein levels.
Right. Right.
And,
Because I
and
don't think we realize in midlife, so many levels, including estrogen. There are so many things that change chemically. And I don't know about you, Laura, but most of my friends and family, we talk a lot about, I am so tired
mm-hmm,
all the time. Sleep changes in midlife as well. But if we don't, this isn't a podcast about nutrition, because Laura and I are learning right along with you.
right,
But it is a case of the stress is different, and how do we get the information to make sure we know what the solution is?
mm-hmm,
What is the solution to all of the midlife things that happen? It can be physically, it can be emotionally. She came to the podcast last week. The tears were there, and I could tell that she was overwhelmed, and she had a right to be overwhelmed with all the changes. Um, and all of our stories are different, but there is commonality in what are the solutions? How do we
mm-hmm.
manage all of the things that are happening? There's so many different things. And I think that's why we wanted to do this podcast. And so that happening last week, it was important. And it was a matter of putting yourself first and sitting down and going, what are my stress levels like? And how can I
Right.
continue like this?
Right. Because I'll tell
Maybe,
you, I don't know about you, but if this happened to me back in the day when we had moved to Colorado when I was in my late 20s,
yeah,
it would be caffeine and sugar. I would power through, get it done, no problem. It
yeah.
don't work like that anymore.
No, no, because we find out there's a lot of enemies, and sugar is one of
Oh
them. And
yeah.
for me, it's gluten. And it's a matter of assessing, like what Laura did, sitting back and going, what does my life look like? And we hope that's what you're going to do along with us.
Mm-hmm.
What does my daily life look like, and how can it be better? How can it be different? How can it be joyful?
Mm-hmm.
And how can it be managed? And so, yeah, the app I started for some cardiac issues, and I wanted to see where my stress levels were at. And I'm so glad that changed your life,
Oh my gosh,
um,
yes.
and that you're continuing to put yourself first. You're saying, wait a minute, I'm taking supplements, but when and what becomes important. What is the combination, and how do I avoid, for me, that afternoon fatigue where
Mm-hmm.
it just comes in and I just want to like sleep on the couch, because of that fatigue. And I think what this podcast hopefully will do, in the upcoming weeks, is taking a look at a lot of things that we experience in midlife and sharing what we personally going through, and encouraging you to do the same, to sit back, put yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
and realize that, yeah, there are changes to be made, because some of the changes are scary. Memory is a problem.
Oh yeah.
I have reading glasses in every single room that I have. Eyesight has changed. We can't ignore it. And what we want to do is, yeah, do some podcasts that really share the issues that we are experiencing, right, Laura?
Right, right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you're feeling better and more importantly, just feeling in control.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and that's, like I said, I'm not one to just sit and say, okay, I'm okay with this. I just need to learn to live with it. It's like, no, what do I need to do? And I have also recently discovered Pilates, which I've also
Which I've
been.
been telling you to be doing for years,
Oh,
my friend.
I know. I
It is.
know.
It's good for you.
I've also been dealing with a knee injury, so I'm not as active as I was before, which then also, is counterproductive to, maintaining a zest for life because I can't push
Sure.
the adrenalines and the dopamines and the serotonins. And I've noticed with the Pilates, I'm able to do the things, and because we're on the reformer tables, I'm not putting as much weight on my joints.
Yeah.
And we were able to go hike yesterday, and I woke up this morning zero knee
Oh my
pain.
goodness.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
awesome. That is
yeah.
that is awesome. Again, understanding your body.
Right,
You
right,
know.
exactly. Yeah, and I did take polls because I knew it was gonna be a little technical, a little
Yeah.
rocky.
Wow.
And it was originally supposed to be 5 miles. We did like a different trail that ended up taking us to like 14 miles, and we were
But
gone
your
all
but your
day.
knee was good the next morning.
Exactly,
That's impressive. That is
exactly.
impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Because I've had hip bursitis in the last month or so, and again, used to play a lot of pickleball, and I had to say, wow, I really didn't listen to my body when it was screaming at me, and now I'm paying the price.
Yeah.
So you're right, physically, emotionally, all of it. Why do you think women minimize this? Why do we think we just have to suffer along?
Wow. I think for me, I know for sure because of where I come from. And when I say that, I mean I come from a long lineage of very strong-willed women who are gonna say, I'm gonna say, also use the word prideful. And if we slow down, it was a sign of weakness.
Weakness. Yep.
Any sitting, when I was younger, was lazy. And it's like, so learning to understand the difference between lazy and truly tired, and understanding that I do need to give myself time for recovery. And
Recovery.
talking about recovery, so that Welltory app, the recovery, so it gives you your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nerve ratios, right? And I am still constantly in fight or flight,
Ditto.
constantly,
Ditto.
constantly.
Why is that? I think most women, midlife women, we live in that. What are we going to be asked to do next? What
Yeah,
should, who do we have to take responsibility for? Who do we have to care for?
right.
And it's usually we're on the bottom of the list.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and then one of the things, because I've been watching those metrics, that data, is I'm
Yeah.
going to start incorporating more breathing exercises. And one of the things, I mean, yoga nidra is great. Do it at lunch, 10, 15 minutes, not a big deal. But also, I learned about how I think it was like you breathe in for 4 seconds and out for six.
Yep.
And the longer outward breath triggers your brain to be in a more relaxed state, and it says, okay, I'm not in fear, and it's that longer outward breath that I'm not in fear.
Relief, right?
Yeah,
Your body
yeah,
is signaling relief.
yeah,
But as I was telling you last week, as we were trying to figure out, how do we literally affect our stress levels? I I was telling Laura to breathe in. Pilates really teaches you to take in that breath. But my outward exhale literally sounded like that.
uh,
And yes, it's supposed to be extended so that we're getting rid of the carbon monoxide. And I wouldn't get the breath out of me because I think that, for so long you hold things so tightly
right,
and we're not breathing deeply and we're not exhaling at the rate that we should be.
right.
And you're right, breathing exercises, meditation, and it all sounds so. I don't know about you, Laura, but when I'm going to be 65 this year, and there were years when this was all talked about, and I'm just like, yeah, when I get there,
Mm-hmm.
when I get there,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's for somebody else, but maybe when I get there, I'll need that.
Yeah.
But the problem is that if we don't sit and do the assessment that you just did,
Yeah.
um, we always think it's for somebody else. But in
Yeah.
the end, it truly, truly is important that we take the time, we do the assessment, find the metrics in any way that you can, or maybe you're better at reading the body. But, I was at a birthday party last night and we were half men, half women. And all of the men started talking about, I've got a watch and I've got another thing on my wrist. And what is that doing? Oh, well, this tells me the time and this tells me if I'm going to die.
Oh my
That's
God.
literally what they were saying. And I
Yeah.
think it's a time we are in this technology stage. It's not totally necessary,
Right.
but it's nice to have those metrics that
It
I can
is.
affect the metrics. I can see that go down. I can
Right.
see my sleep levels. Sorry, you, Tori. It
This is
is.
not meant to be a promotion.
It
It
isn't.
just
It
no,
isn't. But
no. It's
it has
yeah.
affected both of our lives. So maybe along the way, we can share the things
Yeah.
that that has affected our lives. We're not here with all the answers. We're just here with here's what we're going through. Here's what some of our friends have said, and we're hoping that it'll help you.
Right, right. Well, and I got to tell you, I mean, when I think one of the other things that is a little bit harder for me to reconcile in my brain that I'm 57, going to be 58 this year,
Yeah.
and I've got a granddaughter, and she
You're
just
a
turned
baby.
and she just turned 11.
Yeah.
I remember what my grandmother looked like when I was 11. My grandmother did not look like this. I feel mentally, I
Hunger.
feel like I'm in a space where I'm like 35 still.
Yeah.
But I see the friends. I mean, I see my children and they're older. And I run into their friends and they're like and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking you really don't look any more than 16 to me still. It's almost like I'm stuck
Yeah. Yeah.
mentally in this space. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I started wearing, double knit polyester elastic waisted pants and like I cut my hair short and I got a shampoo and set every week if it would help.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's just I don't know how to get myself there mentally to say, you know what, you need to slow down or
Yeah.
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 It just
Or when you
changed my
get,
expectations.
yeah, I think, we've always heard, and I honestly believe this because, again, I remember when my parents were in their 60s and I was thinking, wow, gosh, they're old. But I really do believe there is a new 50s, there is a new 60s there. And the point with ageism is that I think we need to stop evaluating our worth and
Mm,
our ability to contribute based on our age. And I think we'll
yeah,
discuss this more as we go forward. But the body doesn't lie.
right,
The body doesn't lie. But mentally, where is our mindset?
right.
Where are we at each day? Where are we looking for joy? Where are we looking for kindness? And I think if we can begin to assess where we're at, change our lives in the ways that we want to, and be able to move forward with a new kind of
Mm-hmm.
optimism that sometimes age doesn't bring. And I think that's why we were motivated to continue to do this podcast because I think it's really important that midlife women, I don't know, stick together, that
Right.
that we stick together and we share.
We
We
share.
share all the stuff.
Right. We
We
talk
share
about the
all the stuff.
things. We talk about the things. I mean, the
Yeah.
things that our parents didn't share, our mothers didn't share, right? And the things their mothers didn't share. I mean, it
Yeah.
was funny. I mean, when my daughter, took us, it was myself, my husband, and my daughter went on this long, beautiful hike in the Pacific Northwest here, and
Oh.
It was. I'll send you photos. It's absolutely
Oh,
stunning,
oh,
stunning. It literally, it felt like it was magical. It was like being in this. I was waiting for a hobbit to, run across the path or something.
yeah,
But,
yeah,
it. I was kind of thinking about it, and it's like the funny things you think about in the quiet times. For whatever reason, women's health and anything that has to do with periods or childbirth has
yeah,
been like this dirty, taboo, gross. You don't talk about it, and
yeah,
it's just a natural part of life.
yeah.
And I think as the generations have come along, I think people have become more free and freer about talking about it.
Sure.
But we're still, I think, pretty new on that, because I would be shocked if my grandmother talked to my mother about any of it,
Right,
about
right,
any of it. And
right.
I know very little from my mom. I know
Ditto,
that, I mean,
ditto.
and in their time, HRTs were causing, breast cancers.
Exactly.
But the HRTs have changed since then. They're
Yeah,
more bioidentical than synthetic.
yeah.
And so, God love my mother for not wanting to, end up with any sort of, breast cancer.
Like my
The
grandmother,
woman
that's how
went
she
through,
passed.
oh, she went through hell. She
Yeah,
went through hell because of the way her emotions were, and what the estrogen drops were doing to her.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
there's all
but
kinds of solutions out there
right,
that yeah, everybody's different, everybody's body's different, but there is nothing wrong with the discussion of it all
right,
on both sides of the argument.
right,
And I hope that we can bring that. I hope that
yeah,
we can, say to our listeners that we know you're all very different, but
right,
there's things that we should share and that we should talk about,
yeah,
so that again we can change.
yeah.
We can bring more optimism and hope.
Agree.
Sometimes in a time of life that can be lacking. So with that, Laura, um, cheers on the other side of the country.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
I'm really excited for
Yeah,
season
me
two.
too. Yeah, me too.
And I'm really excited to bring the conversation
Mm-hmm.
to our listeners. And we hope you come along with us. We
Absolutely.
hope that if there is something that you want to share, we do have a private Facebook group. We would love for you to join Conversations Beyond Borders with us. We have a website that you can always comment. I create a monthly magazine, and Laura has all kinds of gratitude practices that we've talked about in season one. But yeah, I think this is the beginning of something even more special than we thought.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I would love to see, the listeners, join us on the private Facebook group, and even just, throw in a comment about what you want to hear about, what you want to talk about.
Love that.
Yeah, yeah. And if there's a particular, topic or subject, or, whatever, yeah, we
Or an
would love to.
experience of yours. Can you share?
Exactly, exactly.
Right?
And it's private. There's a private Facebook group, and
Yep.
it's,
Yep.
women only, and you have to answer questions, that you'll be nice and not
Yep.
try to sell, your Amway on the site. So it's
Nope.
really supposed to be set up as a, intentional, safe space to just, share with each other. Yeah.
Right.
No
Right.
shaming. Anybody shames, they're out. They're out.
And
If you want to
we're
be a part of the cool kids, no shaming.
That's right. And I'm hoping that we get to share some of the moments that have put us on the floor because we're just laughing
Yes,
so much. Laura and
yes,
I love to laugh, and
yes,
I think it is the best medicine of all. So we're hoping you're going to see a lot more of that as well.
exactly, exactly.
So stay well,
Yes, yes, and we
join
look
us,
next week for
join
another
us next week
episode.
for episode 2.
Yep, Conversations Beyond Borders. Thanks.
Thanks. We'll see you then.
Bye.